Anybody who watches AEW programming knows what's one of the best things on AEW television. No, not him. No, not him either. Well, he isn't actually on television, but you can find him all over YouTube. Whether you watch AEW Dark, Being the Elite, Sammy Guevara's vlog, or even a shot of brandy, Fuego Del Sol is all over the place. Hell, he even appeared on WWE television in 2020. Today, we'll be here to tell you the story of the master of the Tornado DDT, Fuego Del Sol. This is DIL Wrestling, my name is KF Marx, please join me on my quest to knowledge. This 25-year-old wrestler came into the mainstream wrestling picture after appearing numerous times on Sammy Guevara's vlog, but most people don't know he's been killing the business for over 10 years. Much like the Young Bucks, Fuego started his career in his backyard. He began trampoline wrestling out of Mobile, Alabama in 2010 with his KBW wrestling crew before relocating to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Currently, he's residing inside QT Marshall's head, rent-free. While he's known as Fuego Del Sol by most of AEW Dark viewers, he started out his career as Cage. Cage was his persona on the KBW Wrestling YouTube channel, where they would do backyard wrestling on trampolines. It started out as only doing short matches, but eventually they did full-on shows, racking up 150,000 plus subscribers. That's more than Sammy Guevara currently has. Both Cage and AK-47 started professional wrestling training, and they are both still wrestling until this day. Cage as Fuego and AK-47 still using the same moniker. They made their pro wrestling debut against one another in May of 2014 on a small Florida indie show before relocating to Oklahoma. In 2015 and 2016, he wrestled on a 2 to 3 times a month basis for the Oklahoma-based federations MSWA and IWR, where he faced mostly local talent and the occasional special attraction. It was also at IWR where he met Houston, Texas-based Sammy Guevara, who he faced subsequently in February and March of 2016. It wasn't much later, in May of that year, that Fuego made his debut in the Lone Star State for IHWE. He would spend the rest of the year traveling between his home state Oklahoma, Mississippi, and Texas, where he would make his debut for promotions such as Ego, MPX, and AEWA. Here he would wrestle guys like Ted DiBiase Jr. and fellow AEW Dark alumni Aaron Solo. Fuego ended his year of 2016 wrestling AR Fox and Sammy Guevara at Gas Monkey Live in Dallas, Texas for VIP. While 2016 seemed to be the year where he became more popular in Texas and Oklahoma, 2017 was the year where he really branched out to other regions. The first few months of this year were spent wrestling in the same promotions as the year prior, but he also made his debut for Oklahoma-based Lucha Americana and the Texas-based Martinez Entertainment Lucha Libre Mexicana, where he would wrestle alongside Kylie Ray, Penta El Zero M, and Laredo Kid, while of course facing, once again, Sammy Guevara. 2017 really became a big deal on July 29th when he traveled to Monterrey, Mexico for Mexican Indie Federation Riot, where he wrestled RS, Darlian, Kratos, and once again Sammy Guevara. He spent the rest of the year traveling the Midwest, spending time in Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, and Missouri, facing underground wrestling legends like Stevie Richards and Matt Sydal. He kicked off 2018 wrestling former Lucha Underground wrestler Matt Cross, fellow AEW wrestler Brian Cage, and former Being the Elite star and current COVID denier and flat earther Flip Gordon. Fuego made his East Coast debut on March 17 of that year for Shikara's Young Lions Cup 14 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sadly, it was eliminated in the first round. He would spend the rest of 2018 and the full year of 2019 wrestling almost every weekend, having numerous matches all over the Midwest, Canada, and the West Coast, eventually culminating in a return to Mexico in the summer of 2019, and his Impact debut a month later in a singles match against Michael Elgin. One day later, he had a tag match for Impact at Victory Road 2019 with Randy Price against the North of Josh Alexander and Ethan Page. Throughout these matches, he wrestled a lot of big names, including Thunder Rosa, Ricky Starks, Shotzi Blackheart, and a series of matches with legendary luchador Juventud Guerrera. Now on to 2020. As strange as a year this has been, it was also the global breakout year of Fuego Del Sol. His first mainstream TV role wasn't actually where you thought it was. Fuego appeared on the January 6th edition of WWE's Monday Night Raw, where he faced Eric Rowan and his pet animal, This was the first unmasked appearance of Fuego since his cage days, as he used the name KG Orso. It wasn't until the middle of the pandemic for him to make his AEW debut on AEW Dark 37, when he and Lowrider faced SCU of Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. Fuego later became a household name on AEW Dark, appearing 13 times throughout the year and being part of two iconic moments in particular. He was the guy Peter Avalon broke his 30-plus match losing streak with, and on the July 16th episode of AEW Dark, he faced his best friend Sammy Guevara for the 11th time in total and the first time in 3 years. Although he's always on the losing end of the matches in AEW, he's universally feared and loved because of his Tornado DDT. From QT Marshall to Marco Stunt, whose ode to Fuego is attached to the end of the video, they all know that once Fuego hits his DDT, he becomes unstoppable. During more recent episodes of Sammy G's vlog, QT wants to look unimpressed by Fuego, while becoming increasingly scared of him at the same time. Maybe this has something to do with QT's jealousy, since fellow Nightmare Factory coach and QT's former best friend Cody and his wife Brandy have a newfound love for Fuego Del Sol that goes very, very far. Fuego also found his way onto Being the Elite, where he made it to the second round of the Being the Elite Championship title tournament, after beating Sammy G in a game of Gator Golf, thus forcing the Young Bucks to book him for next week's tapings to be able to take part in the next round. We hope to see a lot more of Fuego in the future, and we know that when he faces QT Marshall, he will start his AEW winning streak. We've seen the future, and it's fire. Please have a great week. TIL out.
Tornado, that means he spins around in a circle. He's gonna knock you out real tight. He's gonna make you stare up at them lights with the DDT. He's gonna hit on you and me. Well, Fuego's on the road today. He's gonna hit the hay when he hits that DDT his way. He wants to roll up in the street and hit the sink. But not you know what I mean?
That was great.
That was great. Beautiful.
Fuego, you gonna hit the tornado DDT?